Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is Ashley and welcome back to This Is It FM. This is Season 2 review, and obviously there are going to be massive spoilers here. If you haven't seen the end of Season 2, I do recommend you catch the last two episodes. In particular, episode 22 was a fantastic episode. The excitement levels peaked, and I'm telling you, if you do not enjoy the episode, or you didn't enjoy the episode, then you will probably never enjoy a video brought to me on YouTube. However, it was a brilliant way to end the season. I do urge you to catch them two episodes first, the final two episodes of the last season. We'll leave a link just above here. Catch that episode. If you have already seen the episodes, then obviously you can carry on watching. So without any further ado, let's get into the Season 2 review. Come on! So of course we won promotion to the Premiership via the playoff final against West Brom. We won 3-1. If you look at the league positions here, you can see just how much of a season it really was. I mean, we started off so poorly, down towards the relegation zone, until about game 12, and it looked like we could have a job. But in the end, I kept saying about squad dynamics. Squad dynamics is key. We sold a few of the older, experienced guys, and we were relying solely on youth, and the dynamics was absolutely shot to bits. Of course, my friend Kigman plays. He recommended that I start praising the players on the training and the conduct more regularly, and this made such a massive difference. So again, Kigman, thank you very much. You have saved this series. And of course, after that, the morale was improved. We then started winning games, and then of course the squad dynamics improves, and it's all just snowball effect. And as you can see, we climbed the table and we stayed in the top half for the rest of the season. We were in 10th for a little while. It looked like we weren't going to re-push, and then all of a sudden we made that little curve up into the playoffs. Ended up finishing 3rd, so it makes the season look better than it was really, although it was still a good season. So yeah, Season 2 is done. We are finally in the Premiership, and we are on target. Come on, you Blues! FA Cup, we got knocked out in the 3rd round against West Brom, eventually won by Manchester United. Carabao Cup, we got knocked out in the 3rd round also, of course, by Stoke City, who won the Championship last season, and it was eventually won by Manchester City. So if we just have a look at the final league table for the Championship this year, Norwich won the league by 5 points in the end, which is shit. I mean, we don't want Norwich to go up, do we? But however, it is still exciting. We're going to have a Premier League East Anglian derby next year. We won through the playoffs. Cardiff won the second automatic promotion spot, so it'll be Norwich, Cardiff, Ipswich in the Premiership next year, which would be fun. I mean, even if you look at the teams that didn't make it, like West Brom, Aston Villa, Swansea, Palace, Sunderland, Fulham, even further down, you've got the likes of Derby. I mean, these are big clubs which are, in the Championship. I mean, most of these clubs in this division in the last 10-15 years have been in the Premiership. So that shows how strong this Championship is getting now, and to finally get out of the Championship is absolutely fantastic for the club. If we just click on the club here, the club overview, you can see how long we've been in the Championship for. Of course, it was back in 1999, 2000, we won promotion through the playoffs. Obviously, that 40 win against Barnsley, that was absolutely epic. I remember watching it at my aunties, and we had Royce done it before. And as soon as Martin Royce come on, I said he's going to score, and he ended up scoring the 4th goal. He was a super sub when he first joined, and of course that year, in the first year in the Premiership, he was a massive player for us. We finished 5th, and then the second season syndrome kicked in. We got relegated back to the Championship, and that has been, I think, 18 seasons now in the Championship, which is probably the longest run a team's had it consecutively in one division. But we've finally broken that now, and we're out of the Championship, back into the Premiership. We are so excited. Come on! So if we go back to the Sky Bet Championship, we'll just have a look at a few of the team overview stats. Top goal scorers in the league were Norwich on 90 goals. We finished 2nd, however, with 80 goals. Finishing level with Swansea, but of course we did have that one extra game because we played West Brom. So yeah, as far as goals scored, we're chuffed with that. We're scoring a lot of goals. Hopefully that'll put us in good stead for next year. Next year's been very, very difficult. But we'll see how things go. I mean, the way we won promotion in the end, you can't help but have a bit of optimism for next year, do you know what I mean? But yeah, we're going to keep expectations down, because we're probably not going to strengthen as much as we maybe should do, because I want to still concentrate on youth, but we will be building the team up certainly. At best average possession in the league, Charlton finished top with 56%. We finished 2nd with 55, which is very good. I mean, obviously we finished 1st, so you'd expect us to be up. Charlton were relegated now. The best team as far as keeping possession, which is something I've noticed. It does happen a lot in this game, which is fascinating. I mean, like, a team is finishing bottom, you wouldn't expect them to be keeping possession as as much as the top teams, you know, especially in real life, like Man City, Liverpool, United, Chelsea, Arsenal. They all keep the ball more than the teams towards the bottom of the table, you know. So it is a very, very weird stat for Football Manager this year, I guess. As far as fouls made, we made over 150 fouls more than our closest rival, Preston. 851 fouls. I mean, our tackle percentage is high, which is obviously good, but the amount of fouls and yellow cards and red cards we've had, it's a bit of a concern. But I mean, I think as part of our tactic, the gegenpress, I would like to try and change that so we stay on feet a bit more, but I think it does affect the tactics to a point where the tactics then it's not as effective as it should be. So I think we'll probably just leave that as it is for next year. Clean sheets for the year, we finished with 21 clean sheets. We'll see in a second, Bart Bielkowski finished with the new record for the Scottish Championship with clean sheets in a season. Played every game for us this year. Played absolutely fantastic. He is the big Poland guy. We love Bielkowski. Come on. A few other details I want to just show you is the salary per annum. If we look here, Crystal Palace are top of the list for wages spent over the course of the year, which they totals up to £47 million per year, and they even finished in the playoffs. So they'll be gutted with that, and next year I'm sure they'll probably be looking to move a few players on to balance the books. If we scroll down the list, you'll see it takes a while to get to Ipswich. There we are in 17th place on £12.31 million spent a year on wages. When we started the season, we were in the relegation zone as far as wages goes, but obviously as the year's gone on, we have been increasing our players' wages to deter any bids from the Premiership and keep the players happy here at Ipswich, because we've got a long-term vision, and a lot of these youngsters that are here currently, we want them to still be here in the next 5 years as we look to hopefully consolidate our place in the Premiership, move on and make our way back into Europe. Of course, Ipswich Town are the only English team or the team ever to still be unbeaten at home in Europe. Of course, there'll be a lot of negative people that say, oh, Ipswich don't play in Europe very often, but still, it's a fantastic record to have, because back in the days when we played in Europe every year, to be still unbeaten at home, even when we in Europe, 10 years ago, we played the likes of Inter Milan at home and won 1-0. To stay unbeaten at home is a fantastic feat, and that shouldn't be overlooked. So hopefully, if we do make it back into Europe, we can keep that undefeated home record going as long as we can. So of course, next year we will be playing Premier League football. So let's see who we will be playing. Manchester United won the league. They won the league back. I think it's been a few years since they last won the league. Yeah, back in 2012, 2013 was the last time they won it. Back obviously in the Fergie days, and they've finally won the league back here this year. Finishing second was City. Liverpool and Chelsea make up the Champions League spots, with Tottenham, Arsenal and Burnley getting the Europa League positions. Coming down to the Championship next year will be Huddersfield, Southampton and Middlesbrough. The sides we obviously won't plan now next year. We may look into signing players from these teams, because they'll obviously be looking to move players on. We may be able to get a few players in on the cheap fees. Please have a look at the European competitions this year, which you can see Manchester United have won the UEFA Champions League. They've won the FA Cup and the Premier League, so they've won the treble, just like Ferguson did back in, was it 2001 or 1998? They won the treble. So a fantastic achievement for Manchester United, and next year there will be a big team for us to play against, and we'll be looking to try and keep the scoreline as low as we can. But I mean, we're going to be a new team, still building the youngsters. We're likely to get thrashed, but let's keep our hopes up. In the Europa League this year, Dortmund won 3-1 against Sevilla. UEFA Super Cup this year was won by Real Madrid, beating RB Leipzig 4-0. Very, very big win from Real Madrid, and I'm sure Leipzig they probably would have been happy to make that sort of competition. Do you know what I mean? The UEFA Youth League this year was won by the FC Bayern under-19s, and that reminds me that's something I do need to bring up for this episode. If we go to the schedule and go to under-18 fixtures, this year the under-18s, they didn't do so well in the league, they finished 7th, but as far as the cup goes, we beat Manchester United youth team in the FA Cup youth final, and well, it's got to be good for us, isn't it? I mean, there aren't many players in that youth team we'll be looking to push to the first team. However, I mean, the likes of Kai Brown in there. Kai Brown's not even on there, but obviously Dylan Ruffles has featured the first team, didn't play very well, mind you, but he's probably the only real player in this under-18 squad that we could possibly look to bring up to the first team in the future. So after winning promotion to the Premier League, our finances, as you would imagine, have improved drastically. We're now on 2.7 million overall balance, with a transfer budget of 33.6 million for the upcoming season. I don't think I'll be using much of this budget, if I'm honest. Obviously, I will be bolstering the squad, but I don't think I'll be bringing that many players in to really affect this too much. Probably will be looking to rely on a few loan players next year just to give a bit of squad depth, as obviously we don't want to overachieve so too much, but we certainly want to stay up. So bring a few loan players in. Although I'm against it, I think if we want to stay out in the Premier League and keep building our finances and our infrastructure, a few loan players might be the key there. If we look on projection for the end of next season, we are due to finish on 58.88 million, and that's going to snowball onto the further seasons. However, this will obviously be affected as we will be bringing in more players, wages will be going up, so this will all be coming down. But hopefully, if we can keep consolidating the Premiership, our finances should be lovely. As far as the club goes, we are now a favoured personnel at the club, which is brilliant, and rightly so after getting us back in the Premiership from 18 years exodus from the Premier League. Bartosz Białkowski is also part of the favoured personnel now, and if we go on the icons, the likes of Kevin Beattie, Crawford, Mick Mills, Hunter, Phillips, Burley, Butcher, Mariner, Stockwell, Holland, we have Ben Falami has joined the list of icons. Fantastic news. Ben Falami's deserved that. Of course, he's had a fantastic season, and we're now going to look at the squad. If we click on Ben Falami first while we're here, we can see exactly how well he has done. So these are his attributes so far. He's currently on 4-star ability. Potentially, he's got another star ability to improve. I think he's going to do it because he has been improving rapidly. He's only 20 years old, so he's still got more room for growth. And once he starts playing in the Premier League and he's getting more international caps, his value is just going to skyrocket. Of course, he's going to be asking for more wages, but hopefully, when we get to that point, we will have the finances and infrastructure in place to be able to provide that for him. If we look at the history here, the first season last year, he played 39 games, scored 22 goals in the league with 3 assists and 4 Player of the Match awards. Total altogether last year, he played one more game extra, and that was in the cup. 2 games extra in the cup, scoring 22 goals overall. If we look on this season, he scored 26 goals and 44 appearances in the Championship with 7 assists and 7 Player of the Match performances, with an average rating of 7.2, which is 0.17 better than last year, so a big improvement from last year. As far as overall goes, he scored 37 goals in all competitions for us. Absolutely brilliant, fantastic, and Ben Falami should be our key player next year. So moving on to the squad, if we put the players into appearance order, we can see which players really appeared most for us. Białkowski played 53 games. I believe he was the only goalkeeper that played for us all year. Conor Hazard, had 1 appearance. That must have been on the Carling Cup against Colchester, I believe, in the second round? First round, sorry. So appearances, Białkowski made most appearances. Ben Falami's come second with 44 starts and 6 sub-appearances. Flynn Downs comes third with 43 starts and 3 sub-appearances, of course. Flynn Downs is our captain, Ben Falami is our vice captain, so you would expect these 2 players to be at the top of the list and players that feature pretty much near every game for us in the year. Jack Watmore featured highly, although I don't think he was part of my plans, if I remember rightly, at the beginning of the season. However, his performances in the end, I thought he's got to start, so he's been starting. Walker Peters had a brilliant season for us. I will be looking to bring him back on loan next year if Tottenham allow that. If you look on Kyle Walker Peters, his contract runs up at the end of next year. So if we can get a season loan deal for Walker Peters, we could then look to bring him in on a free transfer, which would be very sneaky, but that's fine. Right, Pedro Empis had a good year, 7.7, 7.07 average rating. Obviously a player we bought in was he bought in on a free in the end? He's bought in on a free from Sporting Lisbon, and he's currently valued at 4.2 million. If we look at his contract, I don't think he's got any sell-on clause. No, he's not got a sell-on clause. So if we decide to cash in 4 million for Pedro Empis, that's a hefty little profit there. But I think we'll keep hold of Empis. We probably want to bring in one more left back, because I think between Empis and Kenlock, there's maybe not quite enough quality there for the Premier League. But it's not a major concern. It is one of the areas I will look to improve. Maddison had a good year this year compared to last year. Andre Dazelle played 31 games. He's not really doing it this year for me, Dazelle. His attributes have increased well, but his determination of 5, I mean, that's so poor. I can't remember what his determination started on at the beginning of the year. If we click on it, we should be able to find out. Determination. So when we started the save, it was on 4, so it has gone up, or 1. We haven't got any older more experienced centre midfielders we can get him to be mentored by. So we shot ourselves in the foot a little bit there, and we may have ruined the progress of one player as well. So Andre, if you're watching, I'm very, very sorry. Sol Shotton has been improving very well since he signed for us. His attributes have shot up, his physicals and mentals have gone up. I'm very, very impressed with him. At 19 years old, of course we signed him when he's 18, so he will become a homegrown player at the club as long as we don't loan him out or get rid of him. Herbie Kane had a brilliant year, scoring 5 goals, 5 assists. His attributes as well look very, very good. 21 years old, still room for improvement, and I think he will still be a major part of the squad next year. As far as the squad goes, I think that's about it. What we really need to look at. If you want to look at some more players, I will quickly flick through the player attributes now and speed things up. If you want to pause and look, feel free, of course. So that is the squad player attributes, and we're now going to look at the squad dynamics of the squad. As we can see here, the match cohesion is very good. We're very, very pleased with that. We've been working tirelessly on improving that, and I think it's paid off ultimately because we've won promotion, so it's done the job. Dressing room atmosphere is good. Managerial support is very good. If we go on a hierarchy here and we click on my manager, we can see that most of the team are in support of me, which is brilliant news. Belkowski is the only leader, and Walker Peters is the only highly influential player. As far as influential players go, we have Downs, Watmore, Falami, Madison, Empus, Dazelle, Kane and McKendra in this group now. So having most of our squad in the hierarchy of the squad now is good news and will only be good for us going forward. If we look at the social groups, the only person that's not in the social group is Wellington. I mean, he's been here all year now, so I don't know why he hasn't. He's done very well, he's played a lot of games, so you'd imagine he should be in there, but I'm sure next year he'll work his way into the core social group. So that is it for today's episode. Can you call it an episode? It's not really an episode, but it's the end of season 2 review for today. I will be doing things differently this year. Later on, not later on, tomorrow I will be releasing a season 1 and 2 catch up. So for you guys that maybe have fallen so far behind and are losing interest and they want to catch up for all these long videos, I will be trying to do like a 20-minute video where you can catch up on both the seasons nice and quickly, so you're ready for the new Premier League season. And yeah, that'll be it. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you guys still watching as we try to keep Ipswich Town in the Premier League and get into Europe. Maybe not next year, but in the next couple of years. We want to consolidate for a couple of years first, get the infrastructure all built up and the financing nice and steady, and then Europe, we're going to come for you, baby. So yeah, anyway, cheers for watching, guys. Cheers. See you later.